program. So we'll go ahead and get started. And Brother Rizwan and Brother Hisham, if you guys can sort of keep an eye on the attendees and just make sure everybody who's a lawmaker or who's representing a lawmaker's office, a staffer, is promoted to panelists, just so they can show up on screen on camera. That would be really helpful.
Okay, well, I'm not going to be a panelist, so I'm going to take mine down.
You're welcome to stay on screen even if you don't want to speak, but it's entirely up to you, whatever you're.
Well, I know I'm not speaking.
That's perfectly fine.
I'm just listening and learning.
No problem at all. That's perfectly fine. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. My name is Zainab Chaudhry. I'm the director of CAIR's office in Maryland. CAIR is a nation's largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization, and I'm the director of the office here in Maryland. And on behalf of the 2023 Maryland Muslim Lobby Day Steering Committee, it's my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to this year's Lobby Day. As you know, Maryland is home to a very diverse, robust Muslim community that's made up of hundreds of thousands of people. And we truly appreciate this opportunity to share our legislative priorities with you on issues such as academic accommodations and institutions of higher learning for interfaith communities, for stronger hate crime laws, especially as we see an uptick in Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, anti-Black racism, all forms of hatred and bigotry, and also juvenile and criminal justice reform. So throughout the program, you'll be hearing more about these legislative priorities and the bills that we're asking lawmakers to support. And we hope that all of you are also willing to support these bills after you hear why we think that they are important to be passed. We've got a packed program, so I'm going to dive right into it. Just some housekeeping items. This event is being live streamed and it's being recorded. The recording will be shared with thousands of community members around the state, and it will be shared with lawmakers' offices who've requested a copy of it. If you are a lawmaker or a staff member representing a lawmaker's office and you're not on screen as a panelist, please feel free to message one of the co-hosts and we can bring you on camera. Even if you choose not to speak, that's okay as well. And with that, we will go ahead and get started with the first part of the program, which is a Quranic recitation by Mr. Zuhair.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا فالله أولى بهما فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا وإن تلووا أو تعرضوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا.
Thank you so much for that beautiful recitation. On behalf of CAIR, we also want to recognize all of our co-sponsors who are partnering with us to bring this Lobby Day together. As you can see on your screen, I won't go into it. Every single organization plays such an important role in their communities with the constituency, many of your constituents who work tirelessly to help make our state a better place to live for everyone. So we're so grateful to all of them for partnering with us. A brief overview of the agenda. We're going to kick it off with a message from Governor Westmore and Lieutenant Governor Runa Miller. We'll provide a brief overview of the Maryland General Assembly to our attendees who are here with us. We will go into the legislative priorities briefly. These will also be shared out with each lawmaker's office individually, respectfully as well. And then we will open up the floor for lawmakers and representatives to be able to share a few words. Then we will have some Q&A from the community. Then some of the sponsors, sponsoring organizations will share some words, and then we will close out the program, short and sweet. And first, we're going to begin with a message from Governor Westmore and Lieutenant Governor Runa Miller.
Assalamu alaikum. On Maryland Muslim Advocacy Day, I bring warm greetings from Governor Westmore, myself, and the entire Moore-Miller administration. I'm Runa Miller, and I have the great honor and privilege of serving as Maryland's 10th Lieutenant Governor. Today and every day, we stand together in solidarity with our brothers and sisters of the Muslim faith. An attack on any one faith is an attack on all faiths. That's why Maryland should be a state where members of every religious community may worship and practice their faith in peace, free from intimidation and violence. So thank you for the tireless work you do to advocate on behalf of Maryland Muslim community. Governor Moore and I look forward to our continued collaboration and opportunities for greater engagement. May peace be with you.
Now I'm going to hand it off to my colleague, Naveed Ahmed from HHRD to take over this part of the program.
Good evening, everyone. Greetings of peace. So just very quickly, I guess to kind of get things a little bit exciting and interactive, if you will, we have this wonderful chat box while we're speaking and being here virtually. So just very quickly, just want everyone who's here present to just put your name down, what district you're a part of, where do you live, and who are your representatives, who represents you in the state of Maryland. So just go ahead. I'll give everyone a few seconds to go ahead and make that so we can make this interactive. We know who we're talking to, so we're not just staring to a screen. And the rest of the evening, the hour and a half that we have here can be a bit more exciting, if you will. And I guess I'll start with myself. I'll also put it in the chat box, but Naveed Ahmed, District 44, right here in Catonsville, Maryland, 21228. All right, well, we'll jump right in as we're getting all the responses. Keep them coming. A brief overview about the Maryland General Assembly, or MGA for easier acronym, if you will. I'm not going to read everything because most of this many of us are familiar with, but just in case, an FYI for all of us over here, they meet 90 days from the months of January to April. So essentially the first quarter, the first 4 months of the year. And the main thing is acting on bills, passing the state's annual budget, and overseeing the government agencies, and a lot more than these 3 bullet points. And the one point that I do want to focus on is actually the last point, point number 5. As we can see, a lot of paperwork, a lot of behind the scenes meetings and calls and conferences, the list goes on. 2,000 to 3,000 bills that are introduced in each session. So that's a lot to go through, and we can see how busy our senators and our delegates are. And the last slide before we hand it off back to our host for this evening. Again, if you're still unaware of who represents you or what district you're a part of, no problem whatsoever. It's always a learning game for us all. I'm sure even our pros here that we'll hear from later this evening, they can also attest to that as well. But very quickly, if you're still unaware, just open up your browser or your phone or whatever is easier for you. Type in the address area, mdelect.net, enter your home address. And then you will find everything. Literally, it'll break it down. For example, let's say Governor Wes Moore, Aruna Miller, and everything, who represents you in every category. It'll be very nice and easy for your convenience. With that being said, we'll continue with the wonderful evening, and I'll hand it back to our host for the session.
Thank you so much, Naveed. And the next part, we're going to have our interns, Dua and Famatu, take it away from here. They're going to be sharing some of our legislative priorities. The bills that we're focusing on this year include issues around stronger hate crime laws, especially as we stand in solidarity with our Jewish neighbors and friends against the incredible, humongous uptick in anti-Semitism, also Islamophobia, anti-Black racism, all forms of bigotry within our state. We're also seeking for stronger juvenile justice reform, criminal justice reform, as well as academic accommodations for interfaith communities in public colleges and universities. And in the subsequent slides, you'll see some of the bills that we're focusing on, as well as the bill sponsors and the bill numbers. And we really encourage you, if you have any questions, all of our lawmakers' offices who are here, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either us or to the bill sponsors' offices for more information about these bills that we encourage you to support. This is a brief overview of what these bills are, and I will hand it off to you, Dua.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Dua. So the first bill that we have is House Bill 912, introduced by Delegate Alcevero. This bill is the Public Institutions of Higher Education Academic Accommodations Policy, which would require public institutions of higher education in Maryland to develop a policy on reasonable religious accommodations for interfaith students on their campus. This promotes student success by protecting religious freedoms.
Our next bill is House Bill 96 or Senate Bill 93, which was introduced by Delegate Crutchfield and Senator Jill Carter. This piece of legislation would change the way children and teens charged with serious felonies enter the justice system by establishing that cases of all youth under the age of 18 begin in juvenile court. And the reason why this is so important is because youth charged in adult court are less likely to receive rehabilitative services. And this bill is based on crime reduction policy and would actually reduce the rate of recidivism.
This bill is Senate Bill 27, which was introduced by Senator Chris West. This bill would establish the Restorative Justice Program within the Victim Services Unit of the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention to relieve the harmful effects of offenses on victims. This prioritizes non-carceral solutions and restorative practices, improving individual and societal outcomes.
Our next bill is House Bill 1066, which was introduced by Delegate Vogel. This piece of legislation would establish the Commission on Hate Crime Response and Prevention to prevent and respond to hate crime activity. This piece of legislation provides a more expansive way to approach hate crimes and help keep communities safe. And it also incorporates perspectives from a wide range of communities directly impacted by hate.
This next bill is Senate Bill 33, which is introduced by Senator Jill Carter, and it is called the Correctional Services Medical Parole and Life Imprisonment Bill, and it would no longer require the governor's approval of the Maryland Parole Commission's recommendation to grant medical parole to an incarcerated person serving an out-of-life sentence. Appointments to the commission are made by the governor himself, and decisions to grant medical parole are meticulously made. This bill takes those politics out of parole.
Our next bill is House Bill 38, which was introduced by Delegate Acevedo. This bill would follow the lead of Virginia as well as other states in the US to ban all no-knock warrants. And it's been executed with horrifying consequences for many decades and risks the safety and well-being of community members and law enforcement officers, which is why this piece of legislation is important.
This next bill is Senate Bill 840, introduced by Senator Ben Cramer. And this bill would establish a hate crimes grant fund to help houses of worship and faith-based organizations protect against hate crimes. This creates safer communities in increasingly tumultuous times.
The next bill is House Bill 13 or Senate Bill 5. This bill was introduced by Delegate Crutchfield and Senator Cramer and would authorize a victim of a hate crime to take civil action against the perpetrator and seek financial and non-financial damages. And this would be a stronger hate crime law, which will help to deter acts of hate.
The second to last bill is Senate Bill 285, which was introduced by Senator Jill Carter. This bill would authorize police accountability boards to exercise greater oversight and powers. It improves public trust and reduces concern over high-profile cases.
And then our final legislative priority is House Bill 76, which was introduced by Delegate Acevedo. This bill would prohibit any statement made by children from being valid in court if a law enforcement officer had lied to elicit it. This is because it's unethical for officers to use deceptive tactics, and it helps to reduce the chances of false confessions. So now we will be handing off the next portion of this event to Hasim.
Thank you to the great Flamatu and Dua, who are two of our rising stars, inshallah, and who represent the future of our community. They happen to be currently interning with CAIR, So again, I want to thank you on behalf of all in attendance for the great job you've done at making today's event happen in such a beautiful way, mashallah, as well as you letting us know about some of these bills that are really important for our community, right? They are near and dear to our hearts. So for the next section, inshallah, what we will do is we'll call on a few of you esteemed lawmakers, legislators, and their staffers. If you wish to say hello, I've received a few requests already for people that have to take leave within a few minutes. I will remind you, we'll give each person about 2 minutes. If you wish to make a statement, a comment, feedback, if you wish to ask the community questions, etc., please feel free to either post it in the chat box to the hosts and panelists, or just raise your hand on the screen. We'll call on you as we receive those requests. And to go first, I would love to have Delegate Sarah Love go ahead and give us a few words.
Thank you. Thank you
Delegate
all.
Love, please.
It's wonderful to be here and to see all of you. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for all of your work and for raising your voice here in Annapolis. It means a lot to us. We really appreciate it. And, you know, big shout out to all of those who worked on that amazing presentation just now. That was really quite impressive. So thanks again. And I apologize that I have to run in a couple minutes, but my district mate is being sworn into the Senate tonight. So very exciting. Thank you all again. I appreciate the time to be here.
Congratulations to her, and thank you so much for that time. Okay, next is Delegate Sharkudian. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Delegate Lori, go ahead.
Thank you so much. And I just want to thank all of you for being here, for your advocacy. Every year, a couple things I want to highlight. First of all, thanks for going through those bills. I can say, taking a quick look as you were going through it, it all looks like things that I am supportive of. And so I'm looking forward to having a chance to voting and supporting those bills. So thanks for your advocacy on that. I will say that separate from being a delegate, my professional career has been in doing mediation, restorative justice, and criminal justice reform. So a lot of the work that I've been doing is really bringing these dialogues to people involved in the criminal justice system and engaging in restorative practices. So I'm happy to see this support in legislative arena. I do also just want to mention that I have worked closely in our community, both District 20 and in Montgomery County, with the Islamic Center of Maryland and with other groups that have done a lot of work on food security in particular and safety net services through the pandemic and beyond. I'm so grateful for those efforts. And I do have a number of bills this year that are tied to increasing and supporting food security and increasing access to safety net services. And I know that those are consistent with a lot of the work that many of your houses of worship are doing on the ground. And I'm so grateful for that on the ground work. And I'm committed to continuing the efforts in terms of legislative policy. Thank you all for being here, and thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you so much, Delegate Sharkudian. And I'm going to call on you as I've received. I know quite a few of you have to step away very soon. So let me go ahead and give the floor to Delegate Sheila Ruth, please.
Hi, I saw that Delegate Kaufman has to leave very shortly. Could I yield to him and then I could go next?
By all means.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Delegate Ruth. That is extremely generous of you. Let me be very brief and say, you might be wondering, what is the grandson of a rabbi doing here? But I think that Muslims and Jews have a lot more in common than the press likes to think. And I, salam alaikum this evening. And so I'm honored to be here. And I wanted to just let you know very briefly that I voted for that civil remedies bill. It passed the Judiciary Committee on Friday, and I was proud to vote for it. And I also support the medical parole bill. And I have always believed in interfaith collaboration. And I've been on the job 6 weeks. I'm loving it, but I look forward to collaborating for the remainder of the session and the next 4 years, because there's more that unites us than divides us. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening. And thank you, Zainab, for the invitation, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Delegate Kaufman. Delegate Ruth, go ahead.
Thank you,
Thank-
Sheila.
Thank you. Salam alaikum, everybody. Thank you for having me here. I'm Delegate Sheila Ruth, representing District 44B in Western Baltimore County. My district is home to many Muslims. We are honored to have the Islamic Society of Baltimore in our district, very important a part of our community. And I am happy to support them as, you know, and anytime that I can. And I also, the bills went through very quickly, but there seem to be all things that I could support. Equity is a very important part of my work. So thank you, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Delegate Ruth. And just a reminder to all of our, again, lawmakers and their staffers, thank you for being with us. All this information has been shared with you. The list of the bills that are great importance to us has been communicated to you, will be communicated to you again, God willing. To our general attendance, please make sure that if you do have a question specific to any one of our esteemed panelists, to go ahead and please make sure to post it. I have 3 names that have to leave very soon, and that is number 1, Delegate Bernice Miracle North, Senator Muse, and Delegate Hill. So please, Delegate Bernice Miracle, go ahead.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you all for joining us this evening. So I'm Delegate Bernice Merrick North. I represent District 14, which is home to the Muslim Community Center off of New Hampshire Avenue. So I'm looking forward to being a partner with the Community Center and any initiatives and resources that are necessary for the sake of the Muslim community and for District 14. I'm very excited about the legislative priorities that you guys listed out. I was cheering after each one was mentioned. So I'm looking forward to doing all I can to help get these across this finish line, just as my colleagues in doing so. So thank you so much for the opportunity to speak, and I look forward to partnering with you all in the future.
Thank you so much, Delegate Miracle North. Senator Muse, I appreciate your patience. The floor is yours. You might want to go ahead and unmute, please.
You're right. I'm getting older now. Assalamu alaikum, and to all of my
Walaikum
friends
salam.
on board, especially my Muslim community. Thank you very much. I work very much with the Prince George's County Muslim Council, President Jamil Johnson. We've worked on a number of things down through the years. I am pleased to be here and pleased to be with you as we have worked on so many issues in the county. I'm on the Judicial Proceedings Committee. I'm Senator Anthony Muse. I serve the 26th Legislative District. It's in Prince George's County, and we have many strong ties there. So thank you for inviting me to this Maryland Muslim Lobby Day. Many of the bills that you have, I do have in front of me, and most of them come to my committee, the Judicial Proceedings Committee. Most of them will be in front of my committee. And in one moment or so, I'm very much concerned about SB 93, and I'm thankful for Jill Carter, by the way. I don't know if she's on, who was a strong fighter in so many ways for juvenile justice. I'm a kid who came up living on the streets. My family broke up. I went through 11 foster homes. I lived on the street. I stole to eat on the street. A Methodist preacher adopted me. I had a second chance. So instead of being in jail, thank God I'm here. I want to tell you why they're important to me. The YES Act, as we say, I'm in full support. Having been, again, a youth who was in trouble, this bill would make the justice system in Maryland more equitable. First of all, we know it's broken. Our justice system is broken, and we're doing all that we can to fix it. We want to be sure that all of them, all of our young people, right now in our state, youth as young as 14 can be tried in criminal court, and all depending on the nature of their charges. During our Senate hearings of this legislation, we found that out, that there's a great inequity in terms of 93% probably versus what we come up 13%, 93% of Blacks, on and on. So these are things we're concerned about. I'm glad to be here, and I'm here for you in any way, as always, that we could share. Thank you for having me on. And to all my colleagues, see you in a few.
Thank you so much, Senator Muse. As we say, Jazakumullahu khair. Right now, I have 3 people slated. That is Delegate Terry Hill, followed by Delegate Joe Vogel and Senator Brooks. So Delegate Hill, the floor is yours. Thank you so much. Delegate Hill, cannot hear you.
Sorry, I'm not actually hearing you all. I was listening and I was driving, and now that I've arrived at the building, I can't hear you. So I'm just going to say really quickly, I want to thank you all for the work that you do in the community, the collaborative nature, and your advocacy. The bills that were introduced are all bills that are consistent with my values and bills that I believe I will be supporting when they come to the floor. And because I can't hear you, I just ask that you continue to do the good work. I have a number of bills that I think will actually prove to be important for your priorities. But hopefully you'll be able to take the time and look at the bills that I've introduced. And I thank you again for having this event tonight.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Delegate Hill, and hopefully we can count on you to help us out as well. Delegate Joe Vogel, the floor is yours, and I have slated after you Senator Brooks and Delegate Leslie Lopez.
Well, it is good to be here and great to see all of you. I am so excited that one of my bills that I'm sponsoring, HB 1066, to create a commission to address the rise in hate crimes here in the state of Maryland, is one of your priorities. This is a bill I've been working closely on with some of your professional staff members. I see Zainab is on here somewhere. I see her right down there. Hello. But this has really been an active collaboration, not just with your organization, but with organizations from across the state that represent communities that are so often targeted by hate crimes. We have seen a devastating rise in the number of hate crimes targeting the Muslim American community. I saw a recent report that there are more instances now of hate crimes than there were in 2001, right? This is an alarming level of hate that we are seeing right now in our state and in our country. We see a similar rise in hate crimes targeting Jewish Americans, targeting LGBTQ Americans, targeting Black Americans, targeting Asian Americans. So this is really something that the reason I'm so excited about this commission and the potential work of this commission, continuing the work of the existing task force under the Attorney General's office, is because this is an area where we all have to come together from all different races, religions, creeds, identities, come together and say that in our state, there is absolutely no room for hate, and that we are going to work together to put an end to this hate, to put an end to this violence, and make sure that everyone in Maryland can feel safe and secure and accepted in our state. So we're going to get this bill done. We're going to get it passed here in the House, and we're going to get it over to the Senate and get it signed by the governor. The Attorney General is collaborating with us on this very closely. So thank you for your support on this bill. Thank you for all you do in our communities. It is an honor and privilege to be able to work with all of you and to represent you here in the House of Delegates.
Excellent work. Thank you so much, Delegate Vogel. And thank you again for being always a champion of social justice and things that are important to all of us. So next I have Senator Brooks. Senator Brooks, the floor is yours.
Hey, assalamu alaikum. Thank you and good evening to everyone. And I want to thank you for putting on this presentation. You know what?
Hello? Hello?
All my stuff is in the
I think somebody.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, assalamu alaikum. We will make sure that everyone is muted, please, unless you have a speaking role at this time. So please mute your computers. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Senator Brooks.
Yes, I'm Senator Brooks. I represent the 10th Legislative District in Baltimore County. And I want to thank you for what all you do. And I must say that your priority list is my priority list. You know, I see a couple of bills that you've got on there that are being introduced by my good friend, Senator Ben Kramer. And that's SB 5 and SB 840.
So the host has muted.
Those are great bills. In addition to civil justice, we need energy justice as well. And that means I introduced a bill that's Senate Bill 613. And primarily what that does, that makes community solar available to those individuals who are not in a position or who does not have the roof orientation to put solar panels on their home. So I would definitely like all the support I can on that bill. And here again, Thank you for all you do and continue to represent your citizens well. Thanks.
Very much appreciated, Senator Brooks. I happen to actually like that bill quite a bit, so you'll get my support for sure. Thank you again to everyone. I'm going to turn it over to Delegate Leslie Lopez. And before I do that, I want to remind all of our lawmakers and or their staffers to please, if you wish to speak, make sure that you post it onto the chat line so that we can call on you or raise your hand. Delegate Lopez, I know we personally have met you a few times. You're from Montgomery County, so go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. I know you are going to be hearing from a lot of legislators today, so I'm going to go as fast as I can here, but I'm just so appreciative of the opportunity to speak with you, and so thankful for your work in the past, partnering on hate crimes bills. It really does take a full community to get bills passed, and having your support is so important. So whatever we can do to be supportive to you and keep the dialogue going. So next session, we have even stronger bills too. For me personally, I'm probably best known as being the gun person in years prior on judiciary, but now I'm on HGO. I'm still working on a lot of loan debt bills.
Hello.
Hi, I think that's Senator Benson.
There
we go.
Again, go ahead.
Yes. So working on a bill to help immigrants get healthcare occupational licensing so we can get more people in hospitals and clinicians doing great jobs. And I also work with marginalized communities that are detained and incarcerated. So those are kind of like my three big areas this year. I represent the upper part of Montgomery County, so Germantown, Clarksburg, Montgomery Village, and that includes the Islamic Center of Maryland. Shout out to Adila if she's around on the call, but she is just amazing and such a great asset to our community. So please keep the conversation going. Whatever I can do to be helpful, I'm here for it, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you
so much, Delegate. Hisham, I think Senator Ben Kramer has to leave, and I think there were a few others who had, few other lawmakers who had commented as well, if we can give them an opportunity.
Sure, by all means. So Senator Kramer, then after that, we have Delegate Sandy Bartlett.
Well, thank you, Ms. Chaudhry. I appreciate you slipping me in before I run to my 6:30 meeting. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for hosting this and for providing us the opportunity to meet virtually. And I just wanted to add that I very much appreciate Ms. Chaudhry's compelling testimony in support of Senate Bill 5. She did a phenomenal job. The bill is moving in the House. It is my expectation that we'll get it moving in the Senate as well. And I also appreciate the support for Senate Bill 840, the bill that will provide funding for our nonprofits and faith-based institutions to sadly that we're in this world we're living in, but very necessary to provide funding to harden defenses around our mosques, our churches, our synagogues, and similar nonprofit facilities. Again, it's a shame that's it's necessary, but because it is, we need those financial resources from the state, and the reference bill will provide that money. So my thanks again to all of you. Very much appreciate this opportunity. Ms. Chaudhry, thank you again. And everybody have a pleasant evening and stay healthy. Best wishes.
Thank you so very much, Senator Kramer. Much appreciated. Senator Muse, got your message. We appreciate your help and appreciate you forwarding that information on to the speaker. Next, I have Delegate Sandy Bartlett, followed by Ms. Edith Perry, and Delegates Jessica Feldmark and Ms. Maura Denigan. So Delegate Sandy Bartlett, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's so nice to be here tonight. And I am quite excited, and thank you for the materials that you supplied. It's been great listening to my colleagues thus far. As Mr. Gardy said, I am Sandy Bartlett. One of the bills that is on the Maryland Muslim Lobby Day priority list is House Bill 47. which is the Correctional Services Medical Parole Board with respect to life imprisonment. And that bill simply, we have removed the governor.
Hello?
Senator Benson.
Hello?
Senator Benson, can you hear me? I don't think she can hear us. Okay. So we had already approved a bill to get the governor out of the.
Hello?
Hi, Senator
Hello?
Benson. Yeah, I think her phone,
Hello?
it's not working, unfortunately.
Yes. Apologies. Senator Benson, you're muted again. If you would please, if you wish to speak, we'll come back to you in a minute. Let's go ahead and let Delegate Bartlett finish.
So thank you. So as I was saying, we got the governor out of the parole process, but we didn't get the governor out of the medical parole process when it comes to life imprisonment, where a person who has been approved by the medical parole board because of a severe illness, terminal, and on their way, unfortunately, to death, we wanted to, if the parole board says that you should be released, we want to make sure that that happens because the parole board is there and they are doing the review. So this is sort of a continuation of the bill that we had already passed, we had already gotten taken care of. And this was one small technical, I shouldn't say small, but a technical fix and a correction that we want to make. And so we're working to pass House Bill 47, which is also Senate Bill 33, and Senator Carter is our cross file. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. You all are wonderful. I love how you can get all of us in one night. Great job. Take care. And Zanae, always hello. Always good to see you.
Thank you so much. Zainab always and her group do a great job of getting all of us together. Ms. Edith Perry, the floor is yours next.
Thank you. And I greet you with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Peace upon you.
I work for Chief of Staff for Delegate Jocelyn Payne-Melnick, been with her for 10 years. She has supported the Muslim community for all her 17 years, and even before that when she was in the council at College Park. If any of these bills come to the House floor, I have talked with her and you have her vote. If any of these bills reach the floors, you do have Delegate Jocelyn Payne-Melnick, who is Chair of Health and Government Operations. You have her vote of yes on every one of these bills. And you guys know she's been supporting you guys a long time and will continue to. Thank you for having this evening. Appreciate you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you so very much. And we appreciate yours. Next, we have Delegate Jessica Feldmark. Delegate Feldmark, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to be with you. Really just want to thank you for your continued advocacy and work. It is always a pleasure to work with CAIR and with the Howard County Muslim Council. Although I'm not lead on any of your priorities this year, I very much appreciate how closely we worked last year on the Inclusive Athletic Attire Act, and am so happy that that is now in effect. And really have enjoyed the conversation, just listening in this evening. Your agenda is one that is so important. And really broadly, just so focused on issues of justice. And I thank you for that ongoing commitment. And I'm happy and proud to be a partner in that work with you. So thank you again, and I'll continue listening. Take care.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Delegate Feldmark. You mentioned something, I'd be remiss, I'm sorry. I have the names of the next speakers. But I'd be remiss not to mention or not to give an honorable mention to the following legislators / lawmakers. To start with Delegate Jibril Acevedo, with whom we are not only partners on so many different issues and bills, etc., that address the community, but whom I see quite often on a personal basis in different events. But as you recall, Delegate Gabriel Acevedo has written at least two, if not three, of the bills that we are pushing for this time. Delegate Charlotte Crutchfield, as well as Senator Jill Carter and Senator Ben Kramer, from whom we've heard earlier. So next we have Ms. Maura Denigan, followed by Delegate Natalie Ziegler and Senator Katie Hester. So Maura, Ms. Denigan, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm speaking on behalf of Senator Shelley Heddleman. She sends her regrets and wishes she could join you, but thanks you for all of your work and advocacy this year and in past years. She's enjoyed working with you all. And Zeneb, hi. It's fitting that we followed Delegate Feldmark because she worked last year on the inclusive athletic attire bill. And I know she wishes she could have taken on more bills this year, so many needs and so little time. And we were all crushed with bills this year, but really supportive of your bills and all of your efforts on judicial reform. She's got a correctional ombudsman bill and geriatric and medical bill parole, and just really wants to thank you for all of your priorities and all of your work, and wishing you a blessed upcoming Ramadan.
Fantastic, and thank you so very much. That is true. Ramadan is almost upon us, inshallah. So next we have Delegate Natalie Ziegler. Delegate Ziegler, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to introduce myself because I am a brand new delegate representing Western Howard County and Northeastern Montgomery County, Damascus and Clarksburg. And while it isn't quite in my district, I am just 5 minutes away from the Dar al-Taqwa Mosque in Howard County. So I hope that you will feel very free to contact me. Your legislative concerns are all very close to my heart, and I want to let you know how much I appreciate the advocacy that you're doing, the work that you're doing, and just to say hello and please contact me. Thank you. I will put my information in the chat. I forgot to, sorry.
No worries. Thank you so much. We will make sure that that information is passed on. And again, I want to take this moment to remind everybody in general attendance to please post your questions. We've received some questions already. Some of them are being answered or will be answered either in writing, but we will ask them or forward them on to your the representative. As far as representatives, next we have Senator Katie Hester. Senator Hester, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Good to see you again, Ms. Chowdhury, and good to see you, Mr. Siddiqui. Everybody, I really appreciate you getting everybody together. The advocacy that you do every year is, so beneficial, and I find that I learned so much. I just wanted to say that I was really happy that we managed to get the inclusive athletic attire passed last year. And this year, looking at your great list of priorities, it looks like I sit on the Education, Energy, and Environment Committee. And so anything that deals with those three topics, plus a few other topics, comes through our committee. We see a lot of bills, but I was really interested in HB 912, the Public Institutions of Higher Education and Reasonable Accommodation. So really looking forward to see how that comes out of the House and over to the Senate, because I don't think it's cross-filed, but happy to support it, any way that I can. I feel that the issues that you advocate for are truly not partisan issues. They matter to everyone, regardless of your political party. And so I'll do whatever I can to support them, working with both Democrats and Republicans. And like Delegate Ziegler said, if there's anything that we can do to help, any particular constituent inquiries, please feel free to reach out to my office. And with that, I will also wish you a blessed upcoming Ramadan.
Thank you very much, Senator. Very nice of you. And indeed, in our religion, we care about all things that touch human beings. And so that's why you feel, or you've made a comment, right? It makes absolute sense. It was great for me to hear that you sit on the committee for education, because that is something that we hear about quite a bit nowadays with everything that's happening in our different counties, county public schools. So we'll keep that in mind, and we'll make sure to reach out to you if need be. Again, quick reminder to everyone, for our lawmakers, if you wish to speak at this time, please either raise your hand or send us a quick message. We see quite a few people that have joined us. Delegate Acevedo, if you are with us. Oh, there you are. Hi, Gabe. Welcome. Please, do you mind if we put you on the spot?
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate it.
Excellent.
Well, good evening, everyone. As was mentioned, I'm Delegate Gabriel Acevedo, and I'm proud to represent District 39, which includes the communities of Gaithersburg, Montgomery Village, Germantown, Clarksburg, and the town of Washington Grove. District 39 is also home to the Islamic Center of Maryland, but also the Islamic Society of Germantown. And I'm really, really, really proud to share that we're also home to a growing and thriving Muslim community that I'm just so honored and humbled to represent. I'm always excited about Muslim Lobby Day, and I'm always excited about working in concert with the Council on American Islamic Relations. Let me first thank my sister and the Maryland Director of CAIR, Director Chaudhry, for her continued advocacy and all the work that she does to ensure that our state is a more fair, equitable, and just place, not just for Muslims, but for all people. And I am proud to be the sponsor of two of CAIR's priorities for this legislative session. I want to thank CAIR Maryland for working with me on no-knock warrants. We know we need to end that very dangerous practice. But also want to thank CAIR Maryland for the work that they're doing to ensure that we advance religious and faith-based accommodations in institutions of higher education. It is always a pleasure to be here, and I'll just leave it there because I know some of my other colleagues have some things that they'd like to share. But I just want you all to know that as long as I'm here, as long as I continue to serve this district, that I will not be an ally, but I will continue to be a co-conspirator with CAIR Maryland to ensure that we're not just fighting for the needs of the Muslim community here in Maryland, but we're also fighting for a lot of underrepresented and oppressed communities as well. So thank you all so very much. Assalamu alaikum. Appreciate all of you all for the work that you all continue to do. And thank you, Hisham. You know, as your name suggests, you've always been generous with your time and your compliments, brother. And I really, really appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Hisham, unmute yourself. I think you got muted. Hisham, unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Siddiqui. That was very, very well put. Delegate Acevedo, you're absolutely spot on. I'm very impressed by your knowledge of the meaning of the name. So next we have Senator Bill Ferguson, who's with us for at least one more minute. Senator Ferguson, please.
Yes, and my apologies for being late today. I'm so sorry. We had the governor's nomination, executive nominations committee. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, good, excellent. I'm so pleased to be here with you all today. And again, truly, I apologize for being late and the joys of being crunched on both ends. We are swearing in a brand new member of the Senate tonight. And so we will, for the first time, now 44 days left in session, we'll actually finally have a full cohort of 47 members. So it's an exciting day today. I am so thankful for my Muslim friends and partners in this work. I appreciate all of the organizations that make up this incredible coalition. You know, we have a lot of work to do right now. It's a really important time in the state of Maryland, but the country and globe, where, you know, too much we're seeing lines of difference across communities, and people's concerns and worries and fears are creating a sense of apartness. Fundamentally, at the end of the day, I believe that the only way forward is through love and through difference. It's actually what our strength is. It's what us made who we are as a people. Our strength is through our diversity and through our individual perspectives. And so I just am so thankful for CAIR, for all of the organizations that do such incredible work to advocate on behalf of Muslims, but also for all of humanity, and for just how can we make sure that the human condition is better here in the state of Maryland. And I'm so thankful for your work and appreciate all of your ongoing partnership as we tackle some really, really tough issues moving forward.
Thank you so much, President Ferguson. Your words are very, very good for all of us to hear, and you're absolutely correct. At the end of the day, we should all remember that we're all humans. We are all great residents of this great state of Maryland, right? And do our best to work together. So to that end, next I have Delegate Ann Kaiser, who's here and who would like to say hello.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. It's a pleasure to be invited tonight. Thank you all so very much. I see so many of my colleagues that are still on the screen, so I assume others still need to speak as well. But I hope that you see from all of our faces how much members of the Maryland General Assembly care about the Muslim community, appreciate your contributions in our neighborhoods. I'm personally proud to have 3, if not 4 mosques in my district. So we have a very strong Muslim community in the eastern part of Montgomery County. So again, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting for all my colleagues as well. Reach out anytime, and we look forward to seeing you in and around Annapolis to hear your concerns on all the issues that we're discussing. So thank you all again.
Very well said, and thank you so much. Next, we'll pass the floor to Senator Sidney. Senator Sidney, if you don't mind.
Maybe you mean Sidnor?
Look, thank you very much.
Sidnor, I'm sorry, Sidnor. My apologies.
No, thank you very much. I was just about to hop off and leave, but just wanted to bring greetings and just let everyone know how extremely grateful I am to have you all in District 44 and doing the work that you all do. Me and our team, we were over at ISB this past weekend looking at a project for the mosque, and like I said, just hope to continue working along with you all, and just extremely proud of the work that you all do, as well as Ms. Chowdhury. You have a blessed one.
Thank you so much. Again, apologies. I was just reading messages that are coming to me, but now I'll start looking up. I have next Delegate Edith Patterson, followed by Delegate Chow Wu. Delegate Patterson, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, rather. This is my first time being with you on the Maryland Muslim Lobby Day, and it's certainly a pleasure to do so. I represent District 28, which is in Charles County. And I will say, first of all, that in our community in Charles County, we have been very fortunate to see the expansion of Muslim mosque, as well as meetings, for me, meetings with leaders in the Muslim community. I had the opportunity to sit on Ways and Means, and in doing so have witnessed and voted on several of the priorities that you've cited below. One, of course, which was a few years ago, the inclusion for athletic attire. We heard the testimony from the outstanding young presenters and advocates. So thank you for doing that. It's very important for us to hear firsthand how legislative decisions can impact and affect their lives. The other priorities, the 10 priorities you have here, are very crucial, certainly as it relates to hate crimes, as well as, we've had the no-knock warrants before. So please connect with me, and I will connect with you in any way that I can to make sure that we work together and that we promote and advance the legislative priorities that you have cited. So again, good evening, and I thank you again for affording me these moments to bring greetings.
Thank you very much, Delegate Patterson. We appreciate your help. We appreciate the information you just shared, and we'll make sure that if there is any need, we'll reach out to you. Delegate Chawu, the floor is yours. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. And I'm talking outside. So first I want to thank you very much for this opportunity. And I'm a delegate actually newly elected last year, representing Howard County and Montgomery County. So I don't know many of you here, but I have a good relationship with the Muslim community in Howard County because I was on school board for the last 4 years, and we work together on many different issues. I really appreciate the opportunity tonight. I think I agree with many of your advocacy policies there. So hopefully we're looking forward to working with your community. Please reach out to my office whenever you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Delegate Wu. I see that I've received some messages. Excellent. So at this time, I don't have anyone else slated. We have some questions. I was trying to find out. I'm sorry, I have two. Okay. So again, I want to make sure that we thank all of our attendees here, all of our panelists, all of our delegates, senators, lawmakers, their staffers for being here, for paying attention to what's important to us as we are we make up a minority that is growing by the day of the residents of the state of Maryland. And we have quite a few. So I'm sorry, I am seeing a request. We have quite a few of these issues that you see that we hear about from our community members. We have Delegate Barnes that's slated to speak next. So Delegate Barnes, let me give you the floor, please. Okay, Delegate Barnes.
Thank you for having me. It's Denise Tyler, Delegate Barnes' Chief of Staff. I wasn't sure if he had hopped on when you said Delegate Barnes because he had a leadership meeting this evening. So I am in his stay. I've listened. Actually, I'm very supportive. My family are Muslim, my mom, my sisters. And so the conversation on being connected, it's been, and living with our differences and living in love is what my family has lived by for all my life. Even though we have Christians in our family, we're still a family. And so we are very supportive of the priorities. Delegate Barnes is very supportive of your priorities, as they're not only important, again, to the Muslim community, but they're important to humanity as far as their the need for the accountability. And you know that he worked with the police accountability and misconduct. And so these issues spill over to all of us that are affected. So I thank you for the time and for the communication and connection. And he's very supportive of the priorities that you have listed. And feel free to contact our office if you need anything.
Thank you so much, Denise. Appreciate your help. And you're absolutely correct. You know, as God said, we were created of different creeds so that we may know one another, right? Of different tribes, etc. So we may one another and work together indeed. Delegate Cheryl Pasteur, I think you had raised your hand. Delegate Pasteur.
I'm here, yes.
Perfect.
Good evening. I want to thank you so much for the invitation for this evening, for the spirit, for your priorities, but for all of the things that I know that we can do beyond the verbiage, but in the reality of our coming together to make a difference. I want to be a part of that. I'm sort of unfiltered. So when I say it, I mean it. I want to be a part, and I look forward to more more connection, more time together. Thank you.
You know what, we love to hear that, and we make sure to remind everyone in attendance, please, if you have not done so yet,